Welcome to the final post of the Appy Season 2 and free posts. Let's start with Red. It starts off with the new intro, and that is the intro to every season free episode except Happy Feast. The intro that plays a rap version of the normal theme. It goes like this. Yo, there's an apple who is a yapple who loves to help, and then there's these kids that want to get him to go to hell. Ooh, it's Appy. Appy. He loves to help. After that, it shows Happy in the front of the dirty, broken up mirror chanting, Satan, Satan, until Quincy breaks in and Happy says, Hey Quincy Cheeks, how you doing? Quincy then just drops across onto the Happy and Happy yells while burning. The episode just ends with no credits. The entire episode, even with the intro, is 4 minutes long, the shortest episode ever. Miranda dies picks up 7 seconds off before Miranda Forever ends. Danny then falls onto the ground choking on his saliva, and Happy chucks a steak at him. Danny then gets out of match and kicks the bottle of wine down, and says, Rotten hell, you dumbass. Happy then takes it off the lit match and throws it at Miranda. Miranda burns while Danny shouts, No! She dies and Danny gets angry. Danny then picks up a bottle and smashes Happy over the head, knocking him back to Miranda's burning body. He melts while Danny runs out of the butcher shop, which is ironically named after Miranda Donald Butcher Shop, and the credits roll. Nooks then played it, and it was actually called Happy Goes Bonkers instead of Nooks. It starts off with a girl forming a Happy into his normal shape, but drops tweezers next to Happy. Happy then gets the tweezers and stabs her with them. He goes into butchering room and finds a meat cleaver stuck on the floor. Happy walks out while Quincy is crying because Danny is telling him the news of what happened to Miranda and the girl. Then Happy hides while Danny walks inside, gets a pistol, and goes outside. He has seen Happy and he says, I've killed your friend and your older sister. Now it's time for you to go bye-bye. But Danny shoots Happy's cleaver out of his hand, and Happy gets frightened by it, so he runs off while Quincy says, Yeah, that's how we do it in my neighborhood. Quincy then walks back into the house and the credits rolled. Meaner picks up right off of Happy Goes Bonkers. Happy is in his van polishing his cleaver and cleaning the body parts off of children. The corpses of the girl he stabbed with the tweezers wakes up, and both the girl and Happy scream. Happy injects the girl with the knockout fluid and proceeds to take off screen. After Happy is done, he chops with his cleaver of meat, and Happy leaves his van and says, That was very fun. Hey kids, killing is fun thing to do. You could do it at home if your mommy and daddy allow you to. Then the credits roll. Happy 2 Revenge starts off with the no intro. It just cuts to Happy in a new van, which was black instead of white. He then goes to the playground, but unlike regular times, where he kills the kids, where he exits or does half Jim Jones, then he just wanders around the playground. Before healing one kid, then he sees a flashback of someone hypnotizing Happy to heal kids like he used to before killing them. Then while healing the kid, he notices a man who hypnotized him. He stops healing the kid and picks up a broken beer bottle and says, Hey kids, when a mysterious man hypnotizes you, fight him off. Then kills him off screen. Then he walks back into frame with his dismembered foot and stares into the camera until the credits rolled. When a jar of hate, Happy is sitting in the van, and then he says, Hello kids, want to see my jar of hate? Then a kid walks up to him and says, Happy, hate is a strong word. And Happy says, Shoot, Jacob. And then he pushes him off, writes his name down, and puts it in a jar of names. Happy then says, My jar of hate contains all the people I will kill. Let's see who's in the jar. He empties the jar and takes out 4 names. Happy says, The people I will kill are Jacob, Quincy, Jenny, and Danny. Then he sneaks up behind Jacob with the broken beer bottle and jumps right behind him. The credits roll while you can hear Jacob being killed in the background. In Happy Free, Rows of Blood and Bones, we see Happy painting a picture with red paint. The picture is that of a rose in a playground. It was innocent enough. We see Happy run out of the red paint and says, "Darn, hey kids, let's go find some red paint and white sticks." We see Happy lure a kid to his van, and then we see him mutilate him off screen. Then it cuts to Happy painting some picture, but now we see him with more red paint or blood and bones as we stalk of the rose. After a minute he is gone, and then he shows the final result and says, "My masterpiece is complete. I call it Rows of Blood and Bones. Hey kids, you can make a painting by using your body parts and blood. If you make one, send it in to me and I will give you a prize." And the address was listed. I know where I'm going soon. In Can of Kill, we see Happy cleaning out of some big tin cans and working mechanics. Happy notices the concern and says, "Hey kids, I'm working on my Can of Kill." Then it goes back to working on the can. Finally, we see a tin can that has a note, "Open me," on it. Happy then comes to the left and says, "Whenever someone opens the Can of Kill, spray bottle pops out and sprays the kids with poison. This is my best invention. It should get me a Nobel Prize for your piece." While he was taking his mouth off, we see Quincy open the can. He gets hit with the poison and dies. Then Happy notices Quincy's body and says, "Hey, it works. You too can make a Can of Kill. All you need to do is send $5 to this address, and you can kill anyone that hates you." The same address was listed before the credits. Happy then takes Quincy's body to the van. Why were all the recent episodes giving me an address? Finally, the final episode of Happy Appy was up. I could predict what was going to happen. Happy was going to kill Jenny in Happy Feast, and Happy roots in Hell. Danny kills Happy once for all and wants to sacrifice in his life for him as well. I was sort of right. In Happy Feast, we see Happy discuss the plans on the camera, which he takes a look at the screen from The Dark Knight. When the Joker held the camera on face the TV, he says, "Hey kids, I have an idea that will change the world. I will make everyone happy." Brings out a knife. I knew what he was going to do. He was going to carve smiles into people's mouths. He got out of his van and says, "Hey kids, who wants a smile? Even when they're sad." All the children, only 5, came running to Happy's van. Then Happy locks the door, does a death stare, and smile. He holds up the knife while we see the outside of the van where children are screaming and Happy laughing. After that, Happy opens the door and climbs out. In the background, you can see a kid's body whose mouth had been stretched like a just steak Ona. But in a smile, Happy says, "If you make everyone smile, the entire world will be a better place." And then the credits roll. Finally, the episode of Happy Rots in Hell is the longest episode, minus the movie, at 45 minutes. I think this is my favorite episode, and you'll see why. In Happy Rots in Hell, Happy drives into an old house where Jenny and Danny are. Danny has a Happy's knife with him, while Jenny has a shank. Happy then peeks through the window and notices that there was a shotgun trap rigged at fire at him when the door, which you have to open by pushing from the outside, as well as pushing from inside, would open. Happy then goes in for the window and closes it, and then deactivates the shotgun trap, and takes the shotgun with him. Happy runs upstairs screaming, "Danny, Jenny, guess who's here to make you smile?" And no response was heard. He says, "Let's go play hide and seek, and I will find you. You will get killed by me." And no response. Happy started to count to 10, and then it cut to Jenny and Danny in the bathtub. Jenny said, "Danny, I'm going to backstab Happy." And Danny says, "Sure, but make sure you knock him with the spear at the end of the staircase so you can paralyze him." While Happy was at free, Jenny was running down the hall, and Happy heard her footsteps. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Found you! Brings out his shotgun and shoots Jenny. While Danny screams no, Happy then looks up at Danny and says, "Found you too. I always win at the game of hide and seek." And with the intermination happened. After the intermination, Danny then closes and locks the bathroom door, puts the mirror on so Happy doesn't get into the room quicker. And Happy says, "Aw, Danny, you know there's a chainsaw in the house." Then Happy runs off. Danny feels a lot more safe, but tries to find a way out of the bathroom. He then moves to the bathtub and looks under the sink, then removes a toilet tank. Then Happy swerved up with the chainsaw, and Danny fell back, accidentally hitting a mop. The mop fell over and the trapdoor opened. Danny jumped through and closed it. After Happy cuts through the door in half, he opened it and said, "Danny, where are you? Did you open the window and jump out of it?" Before realizing the trapdoor, he says, "Hey, I know where you are, kid." The chainsaw is the trapdoor. Unfortunately for Danny, he was already in the basement long before Happy threw open the trapdoor. Happy runs in the tunnel and says, "Danny, you will smile, or else I will have to end your life." And Danny says, "Over here, Happy." And Happy runs into the basement. He notices it's empty and says, "Where the hell are you?" Danny then appears, but with a buzzsaw and katana, and a knife that he says, "Bring it on." He roves up the buzzsaw, and Happy then grabs one of the blades and throws it at Danny. It misses him and sticks to the wall, but then it cuts off to a piece of his hair. Danny then goes towards Happy with the buzzsaw, but Happy gets a pipe and defends himself against Danny. Happy then gets the advantage and hits Danny in the shoulder with it. It breaks his shoulder's blade. Eventually he gets the katana and tries to stab Happy, but Happy uses his chainsaw and breaks the blade. Finally, Danny throws a knife and Happy dodges it. When he takes out the katana and knife. It looked quite stupid with all the weapons on him. Danny then crawls away from him, looking for his buzzsaw, while Happy comes closer. Then Danny takes out the saw blade and throws it at Happy. The saw manages to cut his cheek, apple juice coming out, and flies off into the gas pipe. The gas sprays everywhere, while Happy was too busy trying to plug up the gas pipe. Danny finds matches on a barrel. Happy then notices that Danny has the matches. He picks up the katana and comes closer to him by saying, "You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't freaking dare." Then Danny says, "Oh yes I dare." Then he lights a match. Happy then thrusts the sword into Danny and Danny dies, but drops the match on gas, which ignites the gas, burning Happy and Danny. Happy then notices that there were some explosive chemicals in the side and says, "Oh shit," before it cuts to the house where it collapsed. Due to the foundations being blown by the explosive chemicals, we see the camera pan to be destroyed the basement, where Happy's melted, crushed body lays. Then it rolls to the credits, showing the people who died, which had over 50 people, including Miranda, Quincy, Jenny, Danny, and Happy. Finally, I played the epilogue. It starts off with someone playing The Gloomy Sunday Day by Rizzo Sirius, while it shows clips from all the episodes in its intro. The ability in the black and white, and then cuts to a man typing on a typewriter on his desk, with a subtitle that says, "Played by an actor." With the crushed puppet up inside, it seems to be a paper about Happy Appy. The narrator talks like this. "It looks like the evil rampage of Happy Appy has come to a close. Although he had died, his unfortunate impact on the world lives on. Many people who died on that show did so the sick man who directed the show so they could see his true version of himself in the TV show. Where the director is, I have no idea, but I think everyone would like to think that he died in a gruesome way. However, I have to give my thanks to Ray Balella, the person who portrayed Danny. because he had killed that sick apple. And I also gave out my thanks to the other 3 people who tried to kill Happy. But the man then turned his face, and on his shirt the director's name was there. You'd think he had died, but all Happy is long dead. The director lives on, and somewhere in the world he is making a private home movies, which can continue the horrible story of Happy Appy. Although you might be wondering one thing, why did Happy Appy go so bad? We might never know until the director comes out and reveals why he made Happy kill all these people. We see the director slowly fix Happy's puppet with clay modeled utensils. In somewhere in the world, the director is slowly rebuilding Happy's clay model, damaged in the series finale of Happy Appy. And the director rebuilds Happy's clay model. Who knows what might be killed next? And it could be a celebrity's child, it could be a president's child, it could be anyone. We can only say 2 things: the director is alive, and he might be killing someone. I hope someone will kill the director. Then it cuts to Happy's rebuilt model. The director adds a knife and cuts to the back, and its scream was heard. I hope someone will kill Forensnik. The credits rolled, and I know who Forensnik is. He is the director who made the show, Frederick Goret. You may be wondering, if Forensnik was a nickname I made, then why did the prologue call him that nickname? You see, I didn't make Forensnik's name. The day I gave Forensnik his name was before the post. I got a scrap of paper, just said, I am Forensnik. Obviously, since I had to call the figure something, I called him Forensnik. Only recently I did find out his nickname is actually Forensnik. And the scrap was all 100% fact. Oh, and I've remade the episode list. I guess where the hospital doctor is, it's not Happy the Doctor, Season 1. Happy's vacation hurts Happy. The monkey bar injury, Happy goes to school. Nate needs help. Never run with knives. Happy fixes kids. Happy fixes kids part 2. Happy fixes kids part 3. The 2 Towers. Happy the Doctor. Mean Miranda. Happy's Trick. Hospital Doctor. Happy movie. Happy meets the Roo Bears. Campa. Happy and the Oranges. Happy's van breaks. The kids are okay. Happy Christmas. Danny's final. Miranda lives. Lighter. Miranda's forever. Happy and the Blackberry. Happy lives. Red. Miranda dies. Happy goes bonkers. Meaner. Happy 2 revenge. Jar of hate. Happy free. Rose of blood and bones. Can of kill. Happy feast. Happy rots in hell. And the epilogue.